Good morning, genealogy friends. We have a short, small topic today, but that's because I wanted to spend part of this time talking about updates for my book and my course. This is also, I was going to talk about this last Friday, but I've been using Friday to share resources. Then we talked about Roots Tech, etc., etc. So I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to start by talking about the book and the course because I know that a lot of you have questions. Flip this around. Good morning. Look, I have a Christmassy backdrop today because we actually got our Christmas decorations up finally. This tree is kind of naked. We have a family tree downstairs that we have all of our old ornaments on from when the kids were little and when my husband and I were little. This one is my tree, and it's only for ornaments that we make. So the kids will make cinnamon ornaments and salt dough ornaments and popcorn strings and stuff. And then at the end of the year, we throw all of that away. So it's naked right now. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about the book and the course. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Okay, what's going on? The book, the book is in limbo. It's not in amber, but it's in limbo. I really underestimated how slow the publishing process is. Right now, as it stands, if things cannot get going by the middle of next week, I will be releasing the book digitally first. I really wanted to be able to release it digitally and for sale in print at the same time. And there's a lot of different things going on. I was really trying to get it to a more orderable place for people who don't like reading things digitally. I actually am somebody who doesn't like reading things digitally, even though I am the most digital person you've ever met. I love to actually hold my books and my workbooks. I love to use highlighters. I love to use Post-it tabs. Something about digital books, I feel like, makes them more likely to leak out of my brain, whereas a book I have to sit at a table with or on my lap, I feel like I really get, and I want you guys to really get this textbook. That being said, I want you guys to really have this textbook, and the publishing has been so slow. So I will keep you posted. I'm giving it another week, and then you guys just might see it in PDF form. The thing about the course, so I am going to open the course up to pre-sales, and I'm opening that up in the Family Tree Notebooks genealogy group first, and then we'll open it up further. I've told you guys before, but just to recap, there will be a first initial group of beta testers at a smaller number. And no, I'm still not sharing the number because I don't want anybody to panic. The beta testers will have access to the course for $200. The course later on will be $350. So the first course is $200. The next one is $350. It's the same course. It's just because I recognize that the beta testers are kind of obviously my test group, and they aren't going to be getting the full polished course experience. So, sorry, I think that was a child coming in. So that's what the price difference is. It's not, if you don't make it into the beta test group, you won't be getting, your course will be more polished, but you won't be getting a vastly different course later. And if you're debating between, doing the first group and then waiting until the real course, it's not a question of quality of material. I'm hoping it's probably a question of quality of teaching and how organized I am. Although I'm getting a lot of help with the course, and I feel really good about it. The reason that the pre-sale isn't open now is because of what you get with the course. So I wanted to talk about that. So the course obviously comes with lessons, with me teaching you how to use your Family Tree Notebooks pages to make a genealogy book, which is going to involve a lot of, how to actually do genealogy research and where would you find certain records and things like that. But that's not all you get. So everybody who's in the course gets a digital copy of the book. That might mean if you wanted a print copy, and if I can get the stars to align so that print copies are available on time at some point so that I'm not just waiting on this. If you were to order a print copy, you're not going to get like a discount on the course. The course comes with the digital copy of the book. If for some reason you accidentally bought the digital copy and also bought the course, I would refund your digital copy of the book. But the course includes a digital copy of the book, and for that reason, I'm waiting to open up the pre-sale, because as soon as people buy into the beta group, I want to be able to deliver that digital copy to them so that you're not waiting for it. Because I want you, the course isn't going to start until January. I want you to have something right away. That's what I'm waiting on with the pre-sale for the course. That's why it hasn't been opened yet. So nobody's missed it. And I have the people that have emailed me, it's totally fine. It doesn't bother me at all. Feel free to keep checking in if you want to, but nobody has missed it. I will not, I'm not going to ninja open that and only tell a few people. I will try to make that as public as possible. Just know that you have to be in the group to get the initial announcement. I didn't know how else to make it a little bit more fair. And there's a limited number of people that I can handle in that first beta group. Along with the fact that I'll be teaching, you get access to the courses and the digital textbook. There will be a Facebook group for the beta course so that we can all talk to each other about the course, how it's going, so I can help you with things. Also, there is an exclusive set of digital pages that you will get when you're in the course. You won't receive them until either the first day of the course or right before the course begins, but that is so everybody has all of the pages that we're going to be talking about. This is not a set that's going to be available for sale, so it won't be a set that you already own, but the difference is going to be, of course, the border, not necessarily the pages. I'm not making all new pages for this course, which means that if you are already using pages and you've already bought pages, you'll be familiar with a lot of the pages. It's just these ones are going to have a different border on the side. So 2 things are interesting about this group of pages. Well, 3, I guess, if you think that a different border is interesting. It's going to include every page that I've created up until the time that the course starts. So that includes pages that you haven't seen yet, pages that I'm rolling out slowly. So that's one thing. The other thing is there will be pages in the course that I won't have for sale yet. There are elements of research and things like that I have created pages for myself. And some of the things that I'm teaching in the course, I finally just decided, you know what, I need to make these pages available because this is just easier. There are pages that basically I feel like I need to teach people how to use them. And I don't know that I'll have time to do that and then offer them for sale separately. So just know you might be getting some pages that you look at and you think, I don't even know what I'm looking at, or how come I've never seen this available in the shop? They're going to be for the course first. So, so you buy the course, you get me teaching, you get access to the course Facebook group, you get the digital textbook, and you get all of the pages that I have created, all of which are going to have a special distinct border on the side of them so that you aren't, I thought about doing the most popular color, giving everybody the olive green set, but some people have already purchased that and I didn't know how to make that fair. So that's why everybody's getting a different border. And if you're curious, it's going to be an actual patterned border this time, which I haven't done before, but I've done it for other pages that I sell in other capacities. And so I'll keep you posted about that. But that's what's going on with the book and the course. The course is waiting on the book is waiting on the publisher. I'm waiting on the world. By Black Friday, all of this should be sorted. I'm hoping it's sorted in a way that lets those of you who want a physical book have one. That being said, I get things printed at Office Max all the time because, again, I have a problem with digital things, and a lot of things are now sold digitally, especially from people like me who are teaching things online. It's usually about $20 to print something off and spiral bind it. At this point, I'm kind of thinking I should just put this out there and let people bind it if they want to. You guys are a very resourceful group. I think that versus never giving you the book. So that's why I'm giving it one more week and then we'll see. Okay. I don't want this to be too long because, again, brevity, working on it. But I put these pages out on Friday. So a lot of you have seen them. I know a lot of you have purchased them. The Sibling family bundle. If you haven't, this is what they look like, but they're available in the shops. So I wanted to talk about why would you do sibling research? Because it's not just, I feel like it's sort of obvious that if you are doing, your parents' siblings. These are going to be aunts and uncles that you were familiar with in your lifetime. And, you could be doing your own siblings. Once you get past a certain generation, the siblings of your ancestors are not going to be people that you have direct contact with. And often you won't even have stories from them. You might not have photos. When I go back 4 generations, I don't know a lot about my ancestor siblings. I know more because I've done genealogy. But definitely growing up, I didn't know the names or the stories of these people. I don't want you to stop once you get outside that circle of feelings of like familial love, once you get past the circle of these are the aunts that I grew up with. The siblings of your ancestors are always important. They continue to be important way back. Even when you're talking about an ancestor you don't know a lot about, and that person has 11 siblings, and suddenly you're like, oh, that's a lot of research. I don't want to put all these people in my book. I've definitely gotten the overwhelmed feelings on Ancestry when you look at somebody else's tree suggestion and there's a bazillion siblings and you're just thinking, I don't even, blah. You want to research those people, and it's not just because everybody deserves to be remembered or anything like that. Siblings records often have information that is directly related to your ancestor. And there are so many little toeholds of information that you can find in sibling records, whether it's in stories or you might be able to find a photo that then reveals something. You would be surprised how much doing research on a sibling will actually help you make progress through your brick walls with your other ancestors. So you want to do as much research as you can, especially with vital records, because the vital records are more likely to have information, parents' names, where people are born. It might have information about other people in the family. You also want to establish those timelines, because a timeline involving another sibling is going to tell you about your ancestor's timeline. It's going to fill in gaps, okay? Where were the parents during this time? If your ancestor and this other sibling seem to have been born during the same year, were they twins? Were they actually born during the same year, or somebody, misremembered? I can't even tell you, this is just anecdotal, but now when I go into, pediatric appointments and things like that, and people ask me my birthday, I stand there like an idiot for a second and have to run through, because I can't remember which kid was born which year. I only have 3 children. So I'm just saying, people mess things up. When you're doing sibling research, if you can't find the vital records, don't just stop. You want to see if you can find biographies. You want to see if you can find family members that were written by people and posted on Family Search or in other places. Family Search in particular seems to have a lot of people who are really good about trying to record memories and put them up there. I've had a lot of luck there. You want to search newspapers. And don't forget that when you're talking about women, you want to search for their married names when you can, especially in the newspapers, and especially if they continue to get remarried. I have had newspaper articles that talk about golden anniversary celebrations where the siblings travel, and that has been the only proof that I have that somebody either was still alive or was not, Sibling obituaries often talk about whether or not they were preceded in death by other siblings or if they're survived by their siblings. So if you can't keep tracking your ancestor past a certain point, that can give you the toeholds of, okay, well, they were alive, when Martha died, but they weren't alive when Betty died. And I just don't want you to ignore siblings because it's too much work and because it doesn't feel like it has anything to do with your direct line. It can be tedious. It's not always as interesting as, researching your 6th great-grandfather directly, but you are researching your 6th great-grandfather when you're researching his siblings. So don't lose sight of that. Use the sibling family pages if you can, just because, again, this gives you a way to corral and see information, but you can do this with, a lot of you have this format. It's just called something different. It's one of the photo trees. And then you have, blank notes pages. So if you don't want to spend the $5 to get this pack, then It's not like you can't do sibling research, but that's it. I just wanted to talk you into not ignoring the siblings on your family tree. And yes, I know that it just balloons the family tree out, but it's genealogy. It just wouldn't be any fun if we ran out of people to research. So, one more thing. Remember that family customs are different between families. I guess some families might still do this, but as you get farther back, remember that sometimes when children died, they did reuse names. It took me a while to figure that out. I kept thinking that I was finding mathematical errors, and what I was actually finding is that I come from a long line of women who lost children and reused first names over and over and over again. I have one woman in my family who had 5 Johns, which is a lot of babies named John. So remember that, and then you have to also remember that you want to use that census comparison sheet. You might think that somebody has more siblings than they actually do. If somebody on Ancestry has just listed every single first name that ever appeared in that family's census, sometimes people went by their middle names, by their last name, sometimes things were spelled differently. Use the census comparison sheet, compare birth years and things like that, and that's going to narrow down okay, is this person actually the same person? They didn't have a brother named Theodore and a brother named Teddy. That's one person. And that will narrow the scope of your research. Well, it's also going to help your research just because then you aren't making up people. So that's all I'm going to leave you with today. Remember, I don't teach on Tuesday mornings because Tuesday is my mom day, where I do mom stuff all day, but I will be back on Wednesday, and I have new pages for you on Wednesday. So we'll talk about that then. Talk to you guys later.